I am the host, Richard Ravenbrook, a man, a life coach, and a spiritual mentor who has endeavored to find real spiritual truth and self-enlightenment. With experiences in various ministry types, pagan traditions, and even magical paths. With a love for Mother Earth and a balance of life, I work to channel spirit and to help educate and mentor those striving to deconstruct from mainstream religion and to empower them to find the divinity within themselves and to the truth around them. The messages are focused on everyday life, creating an environment of real coexistence, a world of mutual respect, love, and dignity. The pagan preacher is all things, the preacher and the pagan, speaking from the wisdom of spirit. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. I am Richard Ravenbrook. Some call me the pagan preacher. Today I want to talk about hate. Hate in the sense of not accepting the free will, the free choice of others. Hate as in the bigotry and negative energy that fills our country. Right now, after the election, after November 4th, I see so many people afraid. So many people actually fearing for their lives. And it saddens me, it saddens spirit. Because I understand that many people within this country, they do things in good intentions, meaning they believe in what they do, and they believe that what they're doing is right because they've been programmed to believe that it is right. That's all they know. All they know is what they've been taught. You know, it's just like racism and prejudice. Those things are taught. They don't exist without being programmed and taught such hate. Children don't hate each other, no matter what race, creed, or sexuality. They play with each other, they love each other, they are all equal in each and every one of their eyes. But when we grow up, we go through many different paths, many different places on this journey of life and journey of spirituality. And some of our experiences create what we are, create what we think. The way we were raised create our traditions and what we believe. And the programming we receive on things like television, radio. You know, when media does nothing but push out negative influence on a specific race and doesn't seem to ever put out the positive, then it puts out a negative bias. And it grows, and it grows, and such hate manifests, and it just continues to grow. But it's taught. In the United States of America right now, 2024, getting ready to go to 2025, we still can't find the way for peace. Because until we can lay down the rules of religion, we will never see peace. Religion cannot and will not offer peace in this world. We will always war against each other. We will always battle each other for what is the truth when none of us honestly know for a fact, 100% without doubt, what the complete truth is. We can come pretty darn close. We can dive so far into it that we can uncover mountains of the hidden mysteries, enough that completes our heart and completes and gives us enough understanding to get to the destiny that our Creator has for us. But hate still spews all over our country. You know, I get on Facebook and I get on TikTok and I get on various other social platforms, and I see people in fear. And then I see people making fun of the people that are honestly afraid. And your feelings are valid. Your feelings, no matter what anybody says, they're valid, they're real. Because this is a real threat to you. I understand that some of the things that Project 2025 have initiated, that they have already begun to say that yes, that is the agenda. We all knew that. These things will seek to do harm to the LGBTQ community and more. It will do things to marriages. It will hurt our health care. It will do so much damage. It will lessen the rights of women. It will remove the choices that women currently have and the choices that others that are going through changes, what they have. You have a valid reason to be upset. You have a valid reason to fear. Because these people that come against you, they do so in good intention. They believe what they're doing is right. And it's hard to stop people like that. The only way you can stop people like that is to educate them why they're wrong. Convince them why they're wrong. I've seen so much in the last year or few years. Everything to rejection of drag queens to, people being just downright furious because they see a boy with painted fingernails, or they see, someone, and it's like, why can't you simply let people be people? Why can't we simply let people live their lives? Even your Bible, even your God, and I'm speaking to Christians right now, it says that, that we have free will, that the Creator itself will not force anyone to walk a specific path or to feel guilty or feel, we're told to follow after the leading. So who are the people that feel that they have more authority than God? That even though God won't interfere, you feel like you have to, that you can. Because it's not God, it's called control. It's called government forces, government entities wanting to control the people rather than offering the freedom. Because they're afraid. They're not afraid of you particularly, but hate is caused from fear. Because they're afraid that, even though their children have choices, but they're afraid that if too many choices are laid before them, that they might choose something other than what their parents want for them. We understand as parents, we want the best for our kids. But we can't always decide what that is. Just like every generation, if you look back, every generation has said the generation after that was falling. Maybe they were falling. Maybe we aren't falling. Maybe we're growing. But these children, these young adults that are coming up and turning into the leaders of today, this is going to be their country. And they have the right to try things their way. We tried things our way, and they failed. The people before us tried things their way, and they failed. So we can't honestly say that we know the way to do it, and the only reason we're here is because people refuse to do it. Isn't true. The evidence of that is all around us. You see a church practically on every corner. Every kind of nonprofit, every kind of social group, everything that someone could possibly need is there. Every kind of spiritual necessity is there. The problem is, people have forgotten how to love. People have forgotten how to live a life that is where you don't get offended, where you don't feel fear and you don't feel intimidated by the way someone else lives. That we can allow our neighbors and whoever around us, we can allow them to live the life that they feel they want and need to live. That they can love who they want to love. And even though you may not agree with everything that they are doing, you still can live your life just as powerful and just as equal as you did before, and that you could get along with each and every one of them in your neighborhood, despite not agreeing with everything someone does. We don't have to agree. We don't have to be offended. Do you think that your God is offended? Your God gives people free will. You say your God makes no mistakes. But these people, it's not mental illness. Perhaps there may be some, to a degree, in all categories. But we know for a fact, we know that love is love. That's not a mental illness. Who you love is not something that we necessarily can control. How we love is something that is different within each of us. But we tend to want to control. We want things to be inside this box of normal, what we consider normal. And anything outside that we're afraid of, because we're afraid just to let people be people. Well, I don't want my children around that. But your children have choices. And if you educate your children in the way that you feel they should grow up and what they should believe, but you also allow them the choices to vary from that if they choose to. And I understand this is with a lot of thought, a lot of grace, and a lot of protection. Obviously, we can't just let kids do whatever they want, but we can assist them on their journey. And if they're feeling led to be on a different path, if they're feeling led and believe in something entirely different, don't be afraid. Nurture them. Be with them. It may be something temperamental or temporary. It may be a phase on their journey. It may not. But love comes in and says that, you know what? If you feel you need to walk this part of this path, I'll walk it with you. I may not agree with you. I may not participate on the same things on that path, but I'll be on that path with you, and I'll support you. And if you want to continue on that path, I will support you to the end. And I bet you that person will support you as well. Because of the wisdom of love and the wisdom of support, the wisdom of encouragement and empowerment, where we are allowed to grow on our own, where we are allowed to allow a spirit to teach us rather than men, where we are allowed to explore spirituality and explore life and all the things that are around us. Explore. We are spirits in a physical exploration. But we want to keep everybody in a box because we want to talk about sin. When in all actuality, there is no such thing as sin. Sin can be different things to different people. It can mean different things to different societies. What's sin for one is not sin for another. And a lot of times what we believe is sin is all in perception. How we perceive, how we judge. You know, the one thing that we're not really supposed to do at all, judge. But we all do, don't we? You know, President Trump, I'm going to go ahead and call him President Trump. You know, I've always believed in a lot of the things that he has stood for in the past. Yes, there's some things that I absolutely didn't like as well. But I knew that he was a shrewd businessman, and I knew that it is partially what this country needed. But then there were elements of his upcoming presidency that I too fear. That I too have reluctance. And this Project 2025 is one of them. It cannot be allowed to be implemented in our country. Because America is about freedom and individual liberty. If or when someone takes your right of choice, you, my friend, are not free. Because if you're free, you will have the ability to choose for yourself, without control and without persecution, the way you will live, the way you will look, the way you will love, and sometimes even the way you will die. It's our choice. It is our way. That's the way it was intended. We weren't intended to be in this so-called society where we have to work to eat, where we have to work. We are the only species on Earth that has to work for the basic necessities. No other creature on this earth has to do such things. But mankind has been put in a prison of debt, all in the name of luxuries and just all the goodies that we see around us. You know, it's and so many people, like, they want the American dream until they see the American dream is most often more of a nightmare than a dream. And don't get me wrong, I love my country for what it's supposed to be, what it can be. But right now, hate fills our country, and there's people that are validly afraid. And I stand with you because I stand on freedom. I stand for equality. Despite our beliefs maybe being different, we can be friends. We can walk the mile together. We don't have to be alike. That's what makes this world so amazing, because we're all different. And when we don't live our life the way we need to, we lose that element of ourself. You lose that piece of yourself that this world needed. We all need to be real. And we need to be free to express who we are in that realness. That we need to be able to, without persecution and without fear, walk down the street and express who you are by the way you dress, the way you look, the way you talk. You should not have to hide anything in fear of offending someone. Because when spiritual maturity comes in, that offense is gone. People don't get offended when they're spiritually mature. Even though they disagree with you, they still love you and they don't get offended. They still support you on your walk. And that's it. Because we all are on different positions and different paths, according to what Spirit has to teach us and what we need to learn. And we can't judge someone for where they are, because I guarantee where they are is where they're supposed to be. Will they stay there? I don't know. They probably don't know. Look at your own life and how it's changed. How you acted when you were young and how you act now. What you believed 20 years ago and what you believe today. Things change. We change as we grow. But the one thing that hasn't changed in this country is the hate. And religion is the number one cause of such hate. But the problem with that is, even in Christianity, your Christ didn't teach hate. Your Christ said to love your neighbor as you would want to be loved yourself. If at all possible, be at peace with all mankind. But yet, we got to have that control, don't we? We got to tell people, no, we will not accept you living that way. And we won't accept that, and we won't accept that because that's not God's will, and we're not going to do this. And like, who are we to say what is God's will? If God is so powerful, and I'm not saying he's not, but if God is so powerful, or she's not, whatever you choose there, but if they are so powerful, let them intervene. And that's just what I mean when I say let Spirit do the teaching. Just love people, help people, nurture people. Focus on the stick in your own eye, on your own life, your own walk. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing in this world, but just love them. And things like wars and everything else will disappear. Because war is funny. War can't exist unless you have willing soldiers, willing to kill, willing to take a life that they don't know for whatever reason, but just to take it. Sometimes we feel like we have a good reason. Sometimes it's just because we're told to. Well, guys, that's not a very good reason. You want to stop wars? Stop fighting. Now, there's a difference in defending your homeland, defending your country, defending your house, than just going over and killing people because the government tells you to. I would more they'd be willing to defend my home, defend my town, and to defend my country against those that would seek to harm us. But I would never, ever lay a hand upon someone simply for resources, simply for land, or for religious hate. I can live next to my brothers and sisters, whether they be Muslim or Buddhist or Hindu or Wiccan. And I can live with my brothers and my sisters, whether they be straight or whether they be LGBTQ, whatever it may be. I can live next to each and every one with equality and love. And that's what so gets me so much is the essence of God, the essence of spirituality. Your own Bible says God is love. But we don't project love very often, do we? Because love is grace, love is mercy. It's called not judging, let Spirit judge. Stop trying to learn from man, and stop trying to learn from, a book that was written in third and fourth person, that's been translated dozens of times, that has been altered over 30,000 times. And start listening to Spirit. Get out of the book, get out of the box, and begin to function as the divine Spirit that you are. Love those around you. And let us together form a society that no longer functions to grant the wishes of the rich, but may we grow in an aspect that we all can grow, that we all can achieve, that we all can receive, that we all can use our particular gifts and our talents, that nobody is pushed down and pushed to the side because they didn't have the status quo or the money or the whatever it may be. People say, well, there'll always be rich and they'll always be poor. No, there won't be. We can change that. Capitalism in itself cannot truly exist without some kind of order, some kind of cap, because eventually capitalism bursts. Just like democracy. Democracy doesn't always work. Most of the time it doesn't work in that avenue. Because when the moral standard of the people change, so do the laws. And unfortunately, that's where we stood here in the United States, because we were a republic. A republic was about individual freedom. Each law was just law. It wasn't based on what the people around them as a democracy we would vote on. Because many of us today would vote for marriage equality. But 100 years ago, they would never have done that. Democracy says that laws can change. One year it could be a yes, the next year it could be a no, all about what the people around you believe. A republic says that you're an individual, a creation, and you have the right to live the way that you choose. Your individual liberties. And it doesn't matter what your neighbors believes. It doesn't matter what your parents want for you or what they believe. It's about what you, my friend, what you believe. That's a republic. That you are granted and assured those rights, despite the beliefs of another. The United States of America is about spiritual liberty. This is not a Christian nation. It has never been a Christian nation. It's a nation where you are free to be a Christian, where you are free to be anything that you choose, or you can choose to be no religion at all. But control. We want to control because we're programmed to control. We're programmed to teach. We're programmed to what we have to do. We're programmed and programmed and programmed. I break that program. Wake up, my child. Wake up, my brother, my sister. Wake up to Spirit. Wake up to what Spirit is trying to tell you. Lay down the swords. Just love people. We can compromise through many of the different things and the things that shouldn't be and should be. But we can't compromise on freedom. We can't compromise on liberty. Because if we do, then we lose the America that we all say is so amazing. And we go against the very thing of Spirit and God and whatever it may be, because your own Bible says where the Spirit of God is, there's liberty. Does it not? And I know I'm speaking to a lot of Christians because that's what I do. Even though I'm a deconstructed minister, Spirit has me speak to Christians and to those that are deconstructing as well, coming out of mainstream religion, teaching you the errors of your ways, just like they were the error of my ways. We've lost ourselves in religion. The Spirit says there's so much more out there. There's truth out there. But you got to lay down those laws, those rules, those dogmas. You got to lay down those four walls and get out of that box. Get out of the laws and get into what you feel in your heart. And if you feel hate, if you feel bigotry, if you feel that you just can't be around someone because of the way they live, look deep within your heart and ask yourself why. Why do you feel that way? Was it a parent that taught you that? Was it a bad experience that taught you that? Was it the media that taught you that? And I can guarantee you, something in your life created the feeling that you now currently have towards that individual or towards that group of individuals. The hate is not, it's not natural. Hate is taught. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to listen. May we lay down the swords of hate in this country. And may all those that are in fear, may you be comforted. And may you know that there are those out there that will stand by you and fight with you for your rights. Be blessed, everyone, and blessed be. Thank you, everyone. This is Richard Ravenbrook. From my heart to yours, I hope you are blessed. Please be a blessing. Share these podcasts. Share my short videos. Tell the world the work that's being done. Help me open the minds of those so closed. Help me bring into the fold those seeking truth and enlightenment. Be blessed.